What's up, everybody? Well, today brings us something just a little different. It's not car content today. Actually, I'm not really sure what it is, but today I am going to do a quick overview of my pool equipment upgrade. Now, here's the thing. Had this pool installed back in September of 2020. We swam in it for 3 weeks. And by we, I mean my kids got in it twice. I got in it once, and it was too damn cold to do anything past that point. I put the cover on it, I winterized it, and that is where it has sat since. So in the off season, as any good homeowner does, you reflect on your current situation, and I decided we were going to buy a pool heater so we could extend our pool season just a little bit. So I ended up ordering a heat pump style pool heater. Had that delivered a couple months ago, and it's been sitting in my garage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where everything spiraled out of control. And I spent more money than I actually had planned to. But hey, guess what? I think it's going to be worth it. So today I'm just going to do a quick overview of the pool pad plumbing and some of the stuff that I upgraded. Now here's the thing. I literally cut out a single horsepower Hayward Super Pump that was 3 weeks old. I mean, realistically. Yeah, it was a little older than that because it's been sitting out here for a few months. But yeah, and I went out and I bought myself a brand new Pentair IntelliFlo i2 variable speed pump. What does that mean to you? Maybe nothing, but variable speed pumps are the Cadillac of pumps these days, and they will save you electricity. EPA is actually changing the guidelines to where a lot of single speed pumps, you won't even be able to buy them anymore because they don't meet the energy conservation requirements. So that's where our story begins. I wanted to be able to run the pump 24 hours a day. I wanted to be able to turn it over 2 to 3 times as far as my volume of my water per day, so it was nice and filtered. I wanted it to be quiet. And all of that translates to a lot of money. So this pump here cost me over $1,000. And I hope, I'm not going to say I think, I hope it was worth it. Should be able to do everything I want to do with it. This is a 2 horsepower IntelliFlo, and it is perfect for my pool size. I have a 16 by 32 vinyl liner pool. It's about 7 feet deep at the deep end. I'm just dying. Don't worry about me. And it's about 20,000 gallons. So this is where our tour will start. What I ended up doing is cutting every single bit of plumbing out all the way to the ground. I pulled out my shroud here, dug down, and I actually replumbed everything from the lines. Now, the pool builder did me a favor. This pool is built with home runs to every single outlet or inlet in the pool, rather than having a lot of branches underground off of one pipe. So everyone has its own dedicated supply. Here we've got our pool suction lines coming from the pool skimmers, and then we have the 2 returns going back to the pool, each with its own valve. I upgraded that. What's coming in is 1.5 inches, and then everything past that and it headed back to the valves is 2 inch. So I should have a lot better flow than what I did before. Of note, if you look, you will see these Sweep 90s. They are not drain waste vent Sweep 90s. They're not the ones you can get at Home Depot and Lowe's. They're pressure rated for water systems, and they cost me a little bit extra. But first time I'm going to mention this, swimmingpoolsteve.com. He's probably your best resource for pool related questions. He's got a lot of videos on YouTube and a lot of articles written on his website that'll tell you everything you want to know. And so that's where I found out about the Sweep 90s. They take up more room, they're more expensive, but you get better flow overall through the system. The only time I ended up using the more traditional hard 90s was right here in the manifold, because it just didn't have the room to bring it up out of the ground and still clear everything. So that's where you'll find those. But for the most part, that's what we used. And like I said, everything's 2 inch. So we come into the IntelliFlo. I kept my sand filter. Again, it's only really got 3 weeks of use on it. That's my Pentair SD80 sand filter, and it's a beast. It's one of the biggest ones they make, and it does a pretty good job. So why get rid of that? Maybe one day I'll upgrade to a cartridge, but not for now. So we come out of that, come down over towards the rear of the plumbing here, and what you will see is headed over toward the filter, we run into a flow meter, another Swimming Pool Steve recommendation. With a variable speed pump, depending on the RPM you're running at, you never know how much gallons per minute you're actually putting out. So one, you don't want to overdrive whatever the weak link in your system is, so everything's rated to a certain gallons a minute. You don't want to blow something out because you're not paying attention to how much your output is. But two, as far as filtration rates and how much water you want to filter, the only way to tell how much you're doing it at what RPM is using a flow meter. So kudos to Old Swimming Pool Steve. We leave that and go into our sacrificial anode. It's a zinc anode that will corrode hopefully before anything else in the system does, and the designed to save my pool because it is a steel wall pool even though they're galvanized, and it's also designed to save my heater, which I'll get to in a minute. From there, we actually have the homemade bypass using two Hayward Jandy style valves. That allows me to just bypass the whole heater if we're super chlorinating or something like that, where we don't want to run that water through the heater, or, you know, God forbid the heater breaks. I can shut the valves and run the pool completely independently of the rest of the system over here where the heater is. Into the heater. So the heater is a Ruud, but really it's a Raypak, but really it's a Rheem, whatever. Point being is, I bought it, it's a Raypak. Ruud / Rheem manufactures it, and it's basically a big ass air conditioner, or heat pump really. And it works the same way. It extracts heat from the air, and basically through the heat exchanger, it heats the water. It runs on electricity. Why the hell would I not use a gas one? Because, you know, they heat up so much quicker. Well, the answer to that is I don't think I can get a gas line over here. The gas line from, I should say the gas meter, because it's going to take a pretty big line, is literally on the other side of the house, all the way over. Hold on. Wait, nope, still can't see it, still can't see it. That's right, because it's completely around the other side towards the front of the house. So what you can't see here, and what I will show later in another video when I actually review the pool installation, because I do have some videos and some photos from that. Everything underneath here is shale. So we got some grass growing back in. Luckily I planted it fairly early in the fall and I was able to get some grass. I still got a lot of work to do around here. But I got a 3/4 acre lot, and I'm pretty sure that all 3/4 of that is shale. And once you get past 8 inches deep. So real pain in the ass to dig around here. I've done it. It sucks. I put this fence in myself. I had a Bobcat. I had an auger attachment, and even then, it was still standing up on the auger because the ground was so hard. Lots of shale. So I'm not going to do that. So I went with the heat pump, which, guess what? I did all the electric for the pool myself. So when I installed this sub panel right here, this beautiful Bad Mama Jamma, I did not size it with this in mind. So I ended up having to upgrade. It's 240 volt supply or service, but I had to upgrade it to 100 amps. I previously sized it for 50 amps, so yeah, I half sized it. Yeah, you can hear some kids coming down the street screaming. It's actually nice out. That's actually why I'm doing this, because I'm hoping to hell that in the next month I can open up this pool. But anyway, 50 amps to run that. It's 20 amps. Actually, it's really only like 12 amps to run that pump full speed. That's on a GFCI. Everything's on a GFCI, so that translates to being expensive for breakers. But yeah, upsized the conductors, headed to, or coming into the back of the panel here, and ended up basically replacing wire I had just installed a couple months ago. Come down here, we come out into a Pentair check valve that keeps the chlorine from backflowing when everything's stationary and rotting out the core of the heater, even though it's titanium. Comes around and goes right into our Pentair Rainbow 320 chlorinator. Yes, it's an inline chlorinator. We don't have salt water yet. That's going to go right here, probably in fall or maybe even next year. I'm just trying to save a little bit of money for right now. And this is an inline chlorinator. It replaces an old Hayward, which I don't say old because, again, it's only got 3 weeks in it. But fact of the matter is there's a huge flow restriction in the Hayward version of this, and it wasn't sized for 2-inch plumbing. So bit the bullet, spent $100 on a new chlorinator. And yeah, the only other thing that we put in, well, truly, was the IntelliConnect. So this allows us to control everything from our phone. There's no sense in opening it, but guess what? I will. Because it's kind of cool. but everything runs into this. So the heater runs all into it. It's got a temperature sensor for the water temperature, and the pump is controlled by this Pentair IntelliConnect, which brings me over to this. This is just a keypad relocation kit. Normally, this thing sits right there. Here's the thing. I didn't want to be reaching back here all the time trying to control the pump, even though I shouldn't have to do it too much. They sell for 50 bucks a keypad relocation kit. I don't know that it was worth it, guys, but I did it anyway. And then that necessitated a complete wiring overhaul for everything over here. So pretty much everything you see is new. And that's basically it. That's what we've got. There's a lot more to show you once we get it up and running. I promise you it all does work. It does function. It does power up, but it's still too cold in this area, southern Pennsylvania, to put water in the system. Like I said, in another month or so, I think we're going to open her up, and we will see. The only other thing you can see here that I didn't mention is the SR Smith Pollux Premier. This is our lighting controllers, the transformer. 4 home runs going out to the pool. There's 3 SR Smith Trail lights, color changing, and then there's 1 mini in the stairs. And this thing's money. So it comes with its own RF remote control, and you can control it from anywhere. The remote floats if you drop it in there. You can do light shows, pretty badass at night when you're drinking. Granted, I don't have a lot of experience with it since, again, I have a really expensive investment that's been covered for the last, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. But I'll put together that other video sooner or later, and then once we open this thing up, I'm probably going to do a video on that, and once we get some water flowing through the system, I'm going to do a video on that. Why? Because we can. If you don't want to watch it, that's cool too. But my hope is that this, by the way, this thing's huge. It is huge, enormous, and really, really heavy. I had to cart this thing back here by myself, but it's big. Let's go ahead and look at the air conditioner behind it for my house. I mean, this is a 4-ton, 2-stage Goodman, and you can see the difference in height. It's a big difference. This air conditioner is only 2 years old. It is quiet, and this should be about that too. It should be about the same, so shouldn't be too intrusive. One of these days I'm going to get the pergola stained. That was another COVID project. So was the pool, so was everything else. Everybody went crazy when COVID hit. So did I. We spent lots of money to stay home, and I couldn't be happier. Thanks for watching. I will update you as things change, which they're always changing. And we're going to have some fun with this thing. We already have a lot of pool parties scheduled. Funny thing about a pool, you dig a hole, you pour some water in it, and people want to come over your house and be your friend. I just had to spend 40 grand to get there. All right. Thanks. Leave your comments down below. We'll see you later. And as always, I got nothing smart to say today. I'm tired. It's the witching hour. Have fun.